When I was 16, my parents left me alone for the weekend in our old farmhouse outside Ohio. The house had always felt wrong at night. The floorboards groaned even when nobody moved. And sometimes I heard slow knocking beneath the kitchen floor after midnight. The first night alone, I stayed awake watching movies until around 1:30 a.m. Right as I got up to turn off the TV, 3 slow knocks echoed from beneath the kitchen floor. Knock, knock, knock. I froze. The sound came again, louder this time. I grabbed my phone and walked toward the kitchen. The old wooden floor looked normal, but the knocking continued beneath my feet like someone trapped underground. I told myself it had to be pipes. Then I heard a voice. "Please, help me." It sounded like a woman whispering through dirt. I ran back into the living room, locked the door, and called my friend Eric. He laughed and said I was freaking myself out. But while we talked, the knocking moved across the floor toward me. Knock, knock, knock. It stopped directly beneath the couch, and the whisper came again. "He's still down here." The line suddenly went dead. Every light in the house flickered once. Then, the basement door slowly creaked open by itself. I stared at the darkness leading downstairs. A cold smell drifted upward like wet soil and rotten wood. I wanted to leave, but outside was miles of empty farmland and heavy rain. A scraping sound echoed from the basement. Something was climbing the stairs. I backed away slowly as wet footsteps reached the top step, but there was nobody there. Only muddy footprints. They crossed the kitchen floor one by one and stopped in front of me. Then a woman's voice whispered directly behind my ear, "Don't let him hear you." I spun around, but nothing stood there. Suddenly, the basement door slammed shut, so hard the walls shook. At 3:07 a.m., the knocking returned beneath the floorboards, faster now. I heard scratching under the wood like fingernails digging upward. I grabbed a hammer from the garage and started prying at the kitchen floor, despite shaking so hard I could barely breathe. After several hits, one of the boards cracked open. A horrible smell exploded upward. I aimed my flashlight inside. There was dirt beneath the house, and buried in the dirt was a human hand. I stumbled backward, nearly vomiting. The hand slowly moved. Its fingers twitched. Then another hand emerged beside it. Someone, or something, was buried alive beneath the house. I called 911 immediately, but before I could speak, all the lights went out. The house became completely black. Then I heard heavy footsteps upstairs, slow, deliberate, like boots dragging across wood. I knew I was alone in the house. The footsteps stopped directly above me. A deep voice growled from the ceiling. She should have stayed buried. Then something slammed into the floor above with enough force to crack the ceiling plaster. I ran for the front door, but it wouldn't open. Something heavy blocked it from outside. The knocking beneath the floor became violent now, almost desperate. I heard the woman screaming beneath the dirt. "He's coming!" Then the basement door exploded open. A tall figure emerged from the darkness wearing filthy overalls and carrying a shovel. I couldn't see his face because his head tilted unnaturally to one side. He stared at me silently. Then he smiled. His mouth stretched far wider than humanly possible. I don't remember escaping the house. The next thing I knew, I was running barefoot through the rain toward the highway. Police searched the farmhouse the next morning. They found nothing beneath the floorboards. No body. No tunnel. No basement footprints. But one officer quietly pulled me aside before leaving. He asked why I never mentioned the missing woman from 1987. I told him I didn't know what he meant. He stared at the farmhouse for a long moment before speaking. A woman disappeared here almost 40 years ago, he whispered. The owner buried her under the house after she found out what he was doing to people. I asked if they ever caught him. The officer looked pale. They found his body hanging in the barn. Then he pointed toward the kitchen window. There's just one problem. A tall figure stood inside the house watching us, smiling, wearing muddy overalls.